Hello gamers, and today we have an review below Path of the Teal Lotus. I have progressed further into the game but have stopped playing entirely. My initial concerns remain, even after obtaining some upgrades. It feels like the developers use Hollow Knight speedrunners as a baseline for the game's difficulty. The precision required for pogoing increases as you advance, making it increasingly challenging. While the bosses are mechanically difficult, they are extremely tanky, turning each fight into an ordeal. Missing the first weapon upgrade before fighting the third boss exacerbated the issue. The game does include a few accessibility features, like invincibility, but it's telling that invincibility doesn't significantly ease the experience. The getting over it style difficulty sections, where a single mistake forces you to start over, dominate the gameplay, making the option irrelevant. Despite my hopes, the game difficulty and design just don't align with everything else. Maybe this game just isn't for me, but I get the feeling that this is the case for the vast majority of players. I just beat the Elden Ring DLC about a week ago, and I was less frustrated banging my head against the final boss than I was playing this game. This is my original review. Feel free to watch it for more context. I really want to enjoy Path of the Teal Lotus, but so far I found it more frustrating than fun. This review is more like a first impressions of the game, as the main complaints I have could be solved with upgrades and time. I will update maybe with the new reviews after I've gotten further into the game. The gameplay, combat, graphics and sound design are all impressively executed. The aesthetics in particular are fantastic, evoking a lovely hand-painted feel. However, the game's difficulty implementation is where it falters. I appreciate challenging games, but the difficulty must feel fair. Games like Chaos, Sekiro, Dark Souls, Hollow Knight and Elden Ring manage this well, making them accessible to newcomers with perseverance. The platforming involved is quite challenging. Even within the first couple of hours, it's almost approaching the difficulty of something like Lone Fungus, Terra Noctis, or the harder platforming segments in Hollow Knight. The look and sound of this game is great. It's a Japanese Goemon 64. One thing that I thought was pretty neat has how the Hishogi instrument comes in its shells, its tempo while you're carefully aiming a projectile. Combat involves directional slash. Fairly simple, right? Well, it would be, if you fill all the pogo bouncing of enemies whilst avoiding projectiles. It's a lot of fun if you can meet the challenge of difficulty. If you haven't played games like Hollow Knight, Ori or Shovel Knight, do yourself a favor and start here, because this game throws you into the deep end of pool. You also have a dash with iframes and a healing item that refills as you damage enemies. You will find charms hidden throughout the world and bought off NPCs, with a grant minor bonuses to your character, just like the charm system in the like Hollow Knight. You'll also have a special attack you can unleash when you have landed enough aerial blows in your quick section. These special attacks are also represented as collectibles to choose from that you will find in the same way you do the charms. The map is great. It shows your character's position, marks NPCs, teleporters, save points, and anything important. Collectibles are not marked for you until you advance deep into the story and acquire an equipable charm that will reveal them all. You can place pins on the map. My biggest gripe with this game, aside from its shelter and then a deal length, was actually to do with the optional collectibles. In order to purchase and collect all of them, you would need to farm gold off the enemies, which would have taken me hours had I committed to it, which isn't any fun to me. I did sort of dislike the game's final area, with a platforming area but without the Metroidvania. No more abilities and collectibles in the final area. Fun, challenging, stylish, I enjoyed this one. I just wish it were done on a larger scale with plenty more biomes to explore. BL starts with a steeper difficulty curve, which is fine on its own. The problem arises when the game feels frustrating rather than rebooting. BL heavily relies on pogoing as a mechanic for navigation and combat, especially during boss fights. While pogoing can be enjoyable, its application here is aggravating. The first boss fight, which lasts 4 to 5 minutes, requires continuous pogoing to inflict damage. The boss only has 2-3 major moves with slight variations, but the length and repetitiveness make it tedious. In the next section there is a chase sequence that's truly tedious. Like in Hollow Knight, falling into the pit hitting spikes send you back to your last shrine. This sequence involves extensive pogoing and dodging, and one mistake resets the entire 2-3 minute sequence. The inconsistency in movement compounds the frustration. To regain your jump and dash, you must hit that enemy on target, but sometimes this doesn't work, leaving you vulnerable. After the chase sequence,